whether you are looking for some baby name inspiration, pet name inspiration, you're writing a book and you'd like a character name, these are some names that I think are worth adding to your list. Just something different about them, especially the ones in Gaelic, and maybe it's the landscape or the culture or just the way they sound. And as someone that's grown up with Scottish Gaelic, I have been surrounded by some of these names my whole life. Heard them in family stories and village halls and school. I've just been surrounded by some of these names and I want to share them with you. And I think while some of them have become known across the world, some of them are still hidden gems, shall we say. I know that's a term that a lot of people really don't like at the moment, but some of them are just... So number 1, we have Eilidh, which is pronounced Eilidh. 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 Eilidh is a really popular Gaelic name, quite a common Gaelic name in Scotland, but for people who don't know the name, don't know how to say it. So it really is that simple. Eilidh, Eilidh. Often hear people say Eilidh. Eilidh is the Gaelic translation of Ellen or Helen, and it is connected to light and brightness. And if I'm very honest with you, I don't think I've met an Eilidh that isn't entirely lovely. Another really popular name is Màiri. 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 Kind of one of these really timeless names. You will see it again and again and again on Gaelic TV and Gaelic literature, whatever it may be. Màiri is a really popular name, and it is just the Gaelic version of Màiri, but it's really nice. It is a really nice name. I'm not going to go too much into the details of names because that's not my forte, that's not my place. Another name that we have is Sorcha. 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 But in English, it is quite often just spoken as Sorcha. 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 And I think this is the translation of our English name, Claire. As far as I know, this is Claire, which is Sorcha in Gaelic, but we've kind of anglicised it and it's also Sorcha. So, you know, you might hear that name. I think it's about light, warmth, beauty, kind of just all of these really good feelings. So we have Sorcha, Sorcha, and they mean Claire. One of my absolute favourite Gaelic names, and I do not hear it enough. I don't know what it is about this name, but I just absolutely adore it. I think it's one of those names I quite often see that people forget that they're naming people and not babies. But this is a name that I think works for a baby, a child, and an adult. And it is Marsaili. Marsaili. Marsaili, although with a different accent, Marsaili. Marsaili. And it is the Gaelic version of Marjorie, which may not be as common these days, but I think Marsaili is a really gorgeous take on Marjorie, which is derived from Margaret, meaning pearl. And I just love this name. I don't know what it is about this name, but I just love this name. A really popular girl's name in Gaelic is Morag. 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 Which you may know the more anglicised version, Morag, and I think Morag is a very... My family is filled with Morags, let me tell you. I've got Morag, Morag, and the English version, which is Marion. So we tend to go generation to generation. Marion, Morag, Marion, Morag, you know, like it goes on. So my family is absolutely filled with Marions, Morags and Morags. So it is a very, very popular, very well known Scottish name. And I don't want to put you off the name, but I feel like it's one of these names when tourists come to Scotland and they're making a joke, you know, usually if they're going to use a Scottish name, Hamish and Morag. But I think it comes down to the meaning of like great ones, strength. I think it is a strong name. So onto a boy's name, because we've done quite a few girl names. And we have Callum, and I think Callum, again, is a really popular name that most people have heard of. You can either have 2 L's or 1 L. It's a popular name here in Scotland, although I don't think it is maybe this generation. But Callum is a really nice name. I went to school with a lot of Callums. Although I definitely don't hear it as much these days as I did when I was at school. Another boy's name we have Ruairidh. Ruairidh. Ruairidh, which is the Gaelic version of Red King, but also Rory. So normally when you hear people call Ruairidh, they will anglicise it to Rory. And it's become really, really popular. It's definitely maybe overtaken Callum in this generation. I definitely hear Ruairidh more often. Another boy's name I have is Tormod. 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 And that is the Gaelic version of Norman, which Norman, again, do you know what? It's really funny looking at names. Norman isn't a name that I hear too often now, but Tormod is a name that I'm hearing more often. So while one name not dies out, but one name becomes less popular, I kind of feel like that name in another language becomes a little bit more popular. So I am hearing more Tormods. But yeah, Gaelic version of Norman, which is a good, strong name, and I think it is like your mind, spirit protector. I think it is a really strong name. So while I gave you Morag as a big name in my family, another name that is very strong in our side of the family is Alasdair. 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 Now, that is the Gaelic version of Alexander. So we have lots of Alexanders, Alastairs, and variations of that. But I think it is a really good name. It's a really strong name. It's a very popular name. It's very good in Scotland. Alasdair is a defender of mankind, I think. But Alasdair has always been a very popular name. It is always on the list. I think it's a really good one to know. And I think a lot of people maybe don't know that it is Gaelic of Alexander, because we anglicise a lot of names. So we have Alasdair and Alasdair. And I think people maybe think it's just a name in its own right, but we do have the Gaelic version of Alexander. I am picking a lot of names that are in my family, so gosh, you can make a family tree for me after this. The next name that I think is a really, really lovely name, and it is Coinneach. 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 Now, you, I'm sure, will know the Hebridean baker. We're not related, but Coinneach. So it is the Gaelic version of Kenneth, which again doesn't seem that popular a name these days, but Coinneach, I think, is growing in popularity. So Coinneach, Gaelic version of Kenneth. People maybe wouldn't expect it, but I think it's a really sweet name. I don't think it's the easiest name for people that are not from Scotland to recognise or be able to visualise and say, but I think Coinneach, once you know it, is a really, really gorgeous and memorable name. So if we were to stick to your more recognisable names, Iain is another one. And I think Iain is a name that's known pretty worldwide, but it's definitely a very well-known Scottish name. So Iain and it has variations in spellings as well. Iain is what I would use for spelling Gaelic, and it is the Gaelic version of John. So we have John, and then the Gaelic version, Iain. Okay, let's lots of boys. Let's get back to the girls. So Catherine. So you have Catrìona, Cattrine, Catherine, or some people would say Catrìona. So you can find variations. If you like the sound of the name, you can definitely find variations for it, but the Gaelic for Catherine. And I think that's a really timeless, beautiful name. It is my granny's name, actually. She's Catherine. Catrìona. I think it's just lovely. I think I'm going to do 2 more names right now. One of them, we'll do one of each, boy and a girl. And the boy's name, I think, is a popular name in English at the moment, but I really like the Gaelic version, and that's Fionnlagh. And that's for Finlay. So I think Finlay is a really nice name. Fionnlagh just gives it a little edge, makes it a little bit different. I really do appreciate that. I think it's really, really lovely. So I think it's about strength and nobility and courage, which is another really good strong name, and I love that. And the final female name I'm going to do today is another family name, and we're going to do Seònaid, which is the Gaelic for Janet. Janet, another name that I feel has lost or declined in popularity, but Seònaid is kind of good. So it's a very traditional name, especially in the Highlands and Islands, maybe more the islands. I think Janet, you might think of older generations. Seònaid, I think, could bring it back. And I really like it. I think I often look at these names and a lot of them are in my family. They're strong family names, but they're just strong Scottish names. I think names are so funny. Lauren is very of the time, late 80s, 90s. And when I asked my mum, wondering this, like, oh, why did you name me Lauren? And for my mum to say, well, it was just, no one else was called Lauren in Stornoway at the time. It was a cool name, and that's what you get letting young people choose names. And I look at these names and I think, oh, but there's such a connection, there's such a story. Some of these names have been in Scotland and been in families and held places for generations, hundreds of years. Lauren, for me, is not that. My name isn't really connected to the speaking of Gaelic or who I am or the culture. I'm very much a trend. I'm a trend. And it's not that I don't think it's a lovely name. As a girl from the Outer Hebrides, Lauren doesn't hit the mark for me personally, but I do also appreciate a good trendy name. Please do let me know which is your favourite or least. But be nice, because plenty of us have names that we wouldn't choose ourselves. If you do have a Scottish Gaelic name of your own or one that you love, please do share it below in the comments, because I want to make more videos. There are so many beautiful names and I'd love to share these with you. But tap live for watching and for coming along, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts.